everybody. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Fatima Lodhi and I'm your host of Olive Branch. Today we have a special guest host with us, Professor Faizan Haq. He will be interviewing Imam Nazim Mangera from Masjid An-Noor, and they will be talking about the various aspects of Ramadan, since it is a holy month of Ramadan. And they will be talking in the first two segments, and in the last segment I will be talking with Dr. Riffat Sadiq from WNM Medical, who will explain the various health aspects of Ramadan. And we hope you enjoy the show, and please stay tuned.
Assalamu alaikum. Fatma, thank you for the introduction. We have this program for you in which we are going to speak about fasting in Islam. Today we have our esteemed guest, Imam Nazim Mangera, who's the Imam at the An-Noor Mosque Masjid in Catskill, New York, which is run by Islamic Society of Niagara Frontier. We are very glad that you're here, and I know today is, it's Ramadan, and everybody's very busy in making sure that they are 100% dedicated to fasting and praying and worshipping their Creator. But fasting has a tradition in other religions, as we know. But I wanted to know that how is this fasting specifically in the month of Ramadan? What are its implications and how it came about in Islam, so our viewer will have better understanding of the month of Ramadan.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillahi wahdah wa salatu wa salamu ala man la nabiyya ba'dah. أما بعد فيقول الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه العزيز بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. First of all, I want to say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and want to say Jazakumullah to you and your organization for having me here this afternoon. Now, Alhamdulillah, we are going through the month of fasting, the month of Ramadan. And linguistically speaking, the word Saum in Islam, it means to abstain and to stay away and to prevent ourselves from different things. And religiously speaking, it means to stay away in the month of Ramadan from eating and drinking, and also to stay away from and to abstain from conjugal relationships. So as in the Quranic verse which I recited, the translation of it is that, O believers, fasting has been prescribed upon you as it has been prescribed upon the people before you, in order that you have the awareness of God. So as we can tell from this Quranic verse that fasting, this is not a new command, this is not new ruling, and this is not limited to just the religion of Islam, but even prior to the religion of Islam, the other Abrahamic faiths, people in those religions and those adherents, they used to fast as well. So in this whole month of Ramadan, right from the first break of dawn and first light early morning, about 1.5 hours before sunrise, that's where we stop eating and drinking. And from then all the way till sunset, we don't eat, we don't drink. In other words, we make sure that nothing goes down our throat other than air. So we are allowed to breathe, but other than that, it's total abstinence. We abstain from everything. So that's kind of like a little brief introduction on fasting in Islam.
So is smoking allowed in during the fasting, because it's colored air?
Yeah, well, smoking, it's not allowed because there are some certain particles which it's different from the normal air which goes down our throats. So because it has particles in the smoke, so that's why we're not allowed to smoke in the month of Ramadan. No.
Drinking,
correct.
Drinking even water,
correct.
Eating is not allowed.
Yeah, so it's not an easy fast, but once you get used to it, and once you fast for a few days after that, your body gets used to it and it becomes easy.
I see. And when we compare the seasonal effect of Ramadan, as we know that lunar year, according to which the Islamic calendar is organized, it keeps changing. So if you can tell us about this, that how come we are having Ramadan now in August, but just a few months back, a few years back, we had it in October and November.
Correct. Well, the Islamic calendar is based on the lunar calendar.
Mm-hmm.
So because the moon and the lunar calendar is either 29 or 30 days, so that's why every year the Islamic calendar is about 10 days less or 11 days less. So Ramadan every year it's coming earlier and earlier. So this year it started August 1st. Next year it'll be in July 20th, around there, and then July 10th, and then beginning of July. So every year the Islamic calendar loses about 10 days. So that's why our Islamic calendar, it's not the same every single year. So it's not like we're fasting every single year in the summer months. And that's kind of like, it's good for the body as well, because the body gets used to different climates and different environments and different months. And we experience this fasting throughout the whole year in our lifetime.
I see. And so that means if you live long enough, then you may have this cycle once, twice, or maybe 3 times in your lifetime, where you get to experience Ramadan during those different seasons in the year. My other question will be that when it happens, how does this prepare a person to associate with others who may be going through such experiences on daily basis? What connection it produces in a person to connect with the rest of the communities around the world, or maybe in the same city, who might not have resources that we ordinary people enjoy?
That's a very good question, because there are many different outcomes and many different benefits of fasting. And one benefit of fasting is that we develop inside us the important quality of compassion, feeling what other people are going through. So one thing is that, as we see today, that many people are going through hunger in Somalia and other countries around in that region. They're going through famine and thirst, and even many children are dying because of lack of food. So one is we feel sorry for them, or out of pity we worry about them. But the other thing is that we experience that same hunger ourselves. We experience that same thirst ourselves. So that develops a stronger compassion, and it develops a stronger attachment with the poor and needy. And not even in other countries, even right here in this beautiful country which we're living in, that there are many people who are hungry, who are homeless. So when we experience this for 29 days or 30 days, then we feel compassionate, we feel merciful, we want to help out, we want to feed the hungry, we want to help out those who don't have enough clothes to wear. So that's one of the amazing outcomes and benefits of fasting. And along with that, there's other benefits as well. For example, it develops in us the willpower and the self-discipline and self-control. Because right in front of us we have food, we have drinks, we have water and everything else, but we develop this willpower in us that, no, I don't want to do that. Why? Because I have been told to abstain from it. So that's another outcome of fasting. Another outcome of fasting is that it improves our health in this blessed month of Ramadan. I don't know about yourself, but since the beginning of Ramadan till now, and I don't know if it's healthy for me or not, but I've lost about 9 or 10 pounds.
Excellent.
And this is one of the only times throughout the whole year where I really get to work on decreasing my weight. So it improves ourselves, and we are more energized, as you were telling me just a few minutes ago outside this room, that you feel more energized when you're fasting. And along with that, it's good for the soul as well, because when we are hungry, then it's easier for us to attach ourselves to our Creator and get closer to God. And also in this month of Ramadan, one of the outcomes is that we become more generous, and we want to spend in charity. That's one huge aspect of the month of Ramadan as well, that we are told to help out the poor and needy by spending as much as possible.
Thank you, Imam Nazim. We will actually take a short break and come back to our second part. Well, I still have more questions, but it is true that in Ramadan, I totally feel energized, because it frees me up of this eating and drinking and being busy worrying about this. I can just focus on my work more, and I can just concentrate on what I'm doing. Thank you so much. So we'll be right back after this message. Thank you. Welcome back again. We are with Imam Nazim Mangera from Islamic Society of Niagara Frontier, their mosque, their masjid at An-Noor Mosque at Haim Road. And once again, thank you for joining us. We are speaking about fasting and month of Ramadan. Are there any specific prayers or special prayers that Muslims do during this Ramadan? Is there a special timing where we see a lot of people rushing to the mosque and trying to say their prayers?
That's a good question. That in this blessed month of Ramadan, we try to make sure that this beautiful month, it affects us in as many aspects and as many areas of our life as possible. That there's 6 primordial foundations or areas of life, that if we take care of these 6 aspects of life, then we'll have a peaceful, we'll have a successful life in this world. And those 6 are number 1, financial, social, physical, spiritual, mental, and family. So we want to make sure that the month of Ramadan affects us in all these 6 different aspects of our day-to-day life. And I'm not going to go into the details of how the month of Ramadan should be affecting and influencing these 6 areas of life. But what you mentioned, that when is it a time when a lot of Muslims are rushed to the mosque and come to the mosque? Usually on the weekends at the mosque we have open breaking of the fast. We have what we call the iftar. More than 300 people, about 400 people come and break their fast at sunset, and then about at 8:30. And then along with that we have the night prayers. So every single night of this blessed month we get together about at 9:30 or 10 o'clock, and the time keeps on changing every 10-15 days. So in the nightly prayers we stand up for about 1.5 hours, about 90 minutes or more or less, and we're just standing and reciting the Quran and listening to the recitation of the Quran. So that's when we have a lot of people rushing to the mosque. And this year, as compared to the other years, we have more people this year, so that's a good sign.
So that is definitely a good sign. And what is special about the last 10 days of Ramadan? There is an understanding that the whole month of Ramadan is kind of divided in 3 parts, and each part is specifically identified as a part where the special sorts of blessings are there. So if you can please tell our viewers about that how does that work?
Yeah, the last 10 days of this blessed month, it holds a special significance because Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was narrated by his beloved wife Aisha radiallahu anha in different narrations that he would exert himself and he would make more effort in these last 10 blessed nights as compared to the previous 20 nights. Aisha radiallahu anha says that قالت كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا دخل العشر أحيا الليل وأيقظ أهله وشد المئزر متفق عليه. That he would spend the night in worship, he would wake up his family, and he would strive in worship. But the literal words mentioned in this narration is he girded his loins. And that's a metaphor, and the better way of understanding that in this American culture is that when we say that let's roll up our sleeves, we want to do something difficult, or we want to exert ourselves more than usual. So similarly, the Prophet ﷺ would spend the last 10 nights of the month of Ramadan and the last 10 days worshiping God much more than the previous nights. So, and mention another narration that Aisha radiallahu anha, she says that the Prophet ﷺ worshipped in these last 10 days in a way that he did not strive at other times. So these last 10 days, that's where you want to, have that extra push. Just like how somebody's racing the 100 meters, and the last 10 or 20 meters, that's when the person wants to exert all the pressure they have, all the strength and power they have, energy they have to win that race. So similarly, in these last few days of this blessed month, we want to do as many good actions and good deeds as possible. So that's why these last 10 days, they have a special importance. And there are different things which we could do. And maybe if I could go through some of the things
please do.
Which we could do in these last 10 days. So one thing which we could do to maximize these last 10 days is take a vacation from work. That just how we take vacation from other different activities of our day-to-day life. Similarly, to get closer to God, we should take some days off if not the full 10 days, at least some days to worship God in a much better fashion. And then we should try to, throughout the whole year, we should try to complete the recitation of the Quran from cover to cover at least twice. But at least in this month, we should try to complete it once. So the last 10 days, that's a good opportunity for us to complete the recitation of the Quran. Also, we should take our families for the Taraweeh prayers, because we have a lot of people coming to the mosque at night, and it's a good social activity as well, and it's good for the family.
Imam, I'm sorry I'm interrupting you, but could you please tell our viewers what is Taraweeh prayer? Because you just used a new word, so I wanted to make sure they understand. Taraweeh
prayer is the nightly prayer which we had discussed in the first segment, where the whole community comes to the mosque and we stay in the mosque for about 90 minutes or longer, standing up in prayer. So we could bring the whole family for that activity as well. And also what we could do is that we could attend the Quran completion night. This is the night where we complete the recitation of the Quran, and the whole community is there, and the long supplication is made as well. So we could do that as well. In these last 10 days, if we have not been charitable as of yet, we could be charitable, help out the poor and needy. We also take out the Sadaqatul Fitr. This is an amount which we take out for every single person in the family, about $7 prior to the ending of this blessed month. And we try to pass it on to the poor and the needy one, so that our fasting is accepted, and also so that the poor and the needy people, they can enjoy the last day of this blessed month of Ramadan, and the day following it, which is the day of Eid. So these are some of the things, important things which we could do, and also to search the Laylatul Qadr, the night of power, which is so virtuous, which is better than 1,000 months worshipping on this night. So we can try to get this blessed night as well in these last 10 days.
Since we are dealing with our viewers, some of them know a lot about Islam, and some of them they don't know much. What is Laylatul Qadr, and why it is called the blessed night? And if you can give us some more details. I know this is a huge topic for you, but we have a couple of minutes, and we would like you to summarize it for us so we can understand that better.
Yeah. Laylatul Qadr, it means the night of power, or the night of respect and honor. This is a night which is granted to us, that if we worship on this blessed night, then it's better than worshiping 1,000 months. And one reason why we have this blessed night is because the people in the previous nations, they had really long lives, and they would live for hundreds of years. And we know that we don't live that long. So Prophet Muhammad was informed about this, and he was asked by his companions that what do we have in place of this. So we are very fortunate that we are given this night, that if we worship on this night, we get the reward as if we have worshipped for 1,000 months, which is more than 83 years.
And I believe it is not a specific night. Actually, it is not declared, but it is actually in last 10 days of the Ramadan. Am I right?
Correct.
If you can clarify that.
That's
as
correct.
well quickly.
That is mentioned in Bukhari and other hadith books, that we don't know the exact night which this night comes, and it's good, because then if we knew it was that night, then we would only worship on that night. But since it's a mystery, then we try to worship on more nights. And as mentioned in Bukhari, that it's most likely in the last 10 nights of Ramadan. So we should try to spend as many of those nights in worship as possible. And at a minimum, what we could do is perform the Isha prayer, the night prayer, and the Fajr prayer, the morning prayer in congregation. And if we do that, we get the reward of worshiping God all night long.
Thank you so much, Imam Nazim. Jazakumullah khair, as we say. May Allah reward you and God reward you for your effort to come here during Ramadan and talking to us and educating our viewers and letting them know and making them more aware of Ramadan and the blessings of fasting. Thank you. And in next segment, we have Fatima, who will be talking with Dr. Sadiq about Ramadan. Thank you so much.
Welcome back, everybody. My name is Fatima, and I'm here with Dr. Sadiq from WNY Medical, and she will be talking to us about the various health benefits of Ramadan. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Sadiq.
Thank you.
Now, a lot of people, if they're non-Muslims looking at our religion, they're probably wondering, how can somebody fast consecutively for 30 days? Isn't it dangerous? Is it good for their health? Isn't it detrimental to their health? What would you say to address those concerns?
Actually, yeah, it's an everyday question to me. How could you do that?
Yeah.
My goodness, 30 days. and the fast is like almost, some days are 16, 17 hours.
16 hours.
16
yeah, there's
hours?
16 hours this year.
So it's not easy.
Especially in the summer. Now that's the summer.
It's a very, but I tell you one thing, it's not that difficult. 60% of our body has water.
Okay.
We are 60%, we are water. And naturally we have a lot of reserves. If we can survive for 15 days without eating and drinking anything. So we do have reserves, number one. And number two is it's all matter of mind.
Okay.
Mind plays, mind actually lead your way. So you can, answer to your question is, yes, it is tough, but it's doable, and it's actually give you learn how to control your body and mind.
Now, is it good for all ages? Because some kids do it when they're 10 years old, and elder people do it when they're like in their 60s. Is it healthy for all ages?
Younger, I think there is a recommendation that the children under certain age shouldn't do that, but it's optional if they want to do it, or they can do it half a day for the trial basis, and then they can, I think 10 and 11 or 12 years onward they can fast. The people who are older, some 60s is like considered young these days. I see every day 90 years old or 100 years old patients. But even the younger people who are sick, who are feeding, the girls or young ladies who feeds their children, or pregnant women, or people who are traveling, they are exempt from this. So it's not like you have to do it. There are some conditions. So suppose I'm fasting and I get sick, so I have to break the fast.
So a lot of there's a lot of studies that actually say that there's a lot of nutritional benefits from fasting. Can you explain what they are?
What happened is, like, I did a research project a few years ago. I did take 30 people, not patients, and I did check their cholesterol and sugars a week before the fasting month started, and then I did the end of the month. I did check their cholesterol level and their sugar level, and then I did it afterwards. So during the month of fast, end of the month, their cholesterol was better, and their sugars were better. So there is a health benefits to that. You actually, your body is consuming less, so your cholesterol levels get better. You lose weight. If you lose weight, your blood pressure gets better, so you don't really, you end up taking less blood pressure medications. So this is a major health benefits. You actually, it's a disease prevention, in other words.
Well, it can go both ways, right? People can either lose weight or they can gain weight in Ramadan. How does that work?
You have to eat smart. I lost 6 pounds, so I'm very happy. It's hard to lose 6 pounds at this age, but I think you stay away from fried food, because it's a big feast. Everybody makes like all kind of healthy, all kind of different foods, mostly the fried. So stay away from fried foods. Eat healthy, lot of fruits, vegetables, and you will really, believe it or not, you will lose weight.
Yeah. So there's 2 main meals usually during Ramadan. It's called suhoor, for you eat before in the morning before you begin your fast. What foods would you recommend to eat at that time to last you for about 16 hours?
I would recommend milk, yogurt. They are very good, and also they are very nutritious. Egg is so good. You can have 1 egg, glass of milk, and couple of pieces of bread. That should be all right, and any fruit with that, an apple, and in the evening, which we call a late dinner,
iftar, right?
Iftar. So eat healthy. Fruits and vegetables are still good, and a piece of meat. Just a balanced meal will be good.
And would you recommend exercising during Ramadan?
Yes, that the prayer, we do it after the dinner, that you just stand and for, I think it's a longer prayer, we call Tarawih, and that is an exercise. So you don't need to go to gym, go to Tarawih.
But what about the people that do go to the gym?
you can carry on your day-to-day activities. My day has not changed since I am fasting.
Okay.
So, but use your discretion. If you think that you are like maybe dehydrated or something, then watch for it.
Okay, because there's a lot of people that even strength train, they do cardio, they're very health fanatics, so they think that they're losing extra weight when they're exercising. But would you recommend that, to really exercise strenuously when you're fasting?
We still have a lot of reserves in our body. As I said earlier, 60% of we are water, so we can survive. But I would suggest that watch for any symptoms. If you are getting a little dizzy, or if you're having like any chest pressure, pain, or you are feeling fatigue, watch for these signs, and then do it accordingly. We do the Tarawih is an exercise actually for that month of Ramadan.
Right. And Imam Nazim talked a little bit about Tarawih, so our viewers know what that is. And there's a specific fruit that's known to have lots of benefits during Ramadan, and that is the date. So can you please explain the benefits of eating dates?
Date is a full meal actually. Date, if you eat like 2-3 dates, that actually is serve the whole meal. So that is a very nutritious food in month of Ramadan, and that's why it's recommended. I would add one thing, this month of Ramadan is that it's actually a boot camp for spiritual, for moral and bodily cleansing. So this is a cleansing month where our spirit get a cleansing of our spirit by doing good things. When I talk about morality, we don't cheat, we don't lie, we actually know addictions, including smoking, doing the good stuff. So I think it's a boot camp, or it's a crash course for ourselves. So I would recommend fasting is good.
Fasting is good. So do you do it outside Ramadan as well?
Sometime I do it.
Yeah.
Here and there I would do it. My husband does a lot.
Yeah. So you would recommend it then throughout the year to continuously have that level of spirituality and everything?
It's good. It gives you the control, and you are actually you in front of you all these things are there, but you still learn how to control and how to not lie and cheat and all the good stuff. So it's kind of for the whole month you are doing that, and then it becomes part of your body and your soul and exercise.
Right. Okay. And do you ever encourage maybe non-Muslims to fast, just to test it and see what they think about it?
Yeah. Sometimes some of my colleagues did that, and I think they liked it. So I would recommend to try it, because more Abrahamic religion also has other Abrahamic religions recommend fasting too. So.
Okay. Good. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Sadiq. And can you tell us where your WNI medical practices are?
We have 5 locations. One is at Harlem, and one is at Derby.
Okay.
Other one is at Casanova Street, and in Cheektowaga, another one. So.
Okay, great. Well, we really appreciate you coming and joining us. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning into our program today, and stay tuned for more programs brought to you by Olive Branch. Thank you.